Good afternoon and welcome to the Foley Event Center in Foley, Alabama. My name is Chuck Cooley and we are here at the Pressure Point Shootdown. We're going to start it off this evening. We have an amazing range set up here. The Foley Sports Tourism Center has put an amazing place together. It's well lit, it's indoors, it's temperature controlled. We're going to start off with a brand new target from Mackenzie this year, the Howling Wolf, and then target number 2. And all of these are at unknown distances. Will be the Javelina. Much closer, but a much smaller target. Then we move out to the Strut Turkey at target number 4. And we have the large HD Deer, which is target number 3. And the brand new Taper from Mackenzie as well. Brand new target introduced this weekend. That'll be target number 5. These shooters have all shot all weekend long to determine who has the highest score to make the top 5 and make it into this shoot down. Champion will be awarded at the end of the shoot as soon as we have the high score. If there's a tie, we go to the 6th arrow. And the 6th arrow will be a bless buck. It's kind of hidden behind the curtain right now. They bring that out only when it's needed. More than 2,000 archers here this weekend. 4 top pro classes that we're going to be seeing shoot off tonight. First 3 divisions will be all unknown distance. In other words, the archers need to stand in the box and judge the distance to the target and shoot it for the highest possible score. Our last division for this evening will be known pro, which they'll be allowed to use rangefinders. Zoom right in on it. It's going to be an amazing, amazing shoot-off. It's the first one of the year. It's the Hoyt Pro-Am here for the ASA. And we're in Foley, Alabama. Back to Greg.
Thanks so much, Chuck. And I'm sitting here with Darren Christianberry. Darren, interesting about the senior pro class that we're going to be, the open pro class that we're going to be seeing later on. I was told that with the competitors that have made it in there in the last 20 years, you're the only one who's won Shooter of the Year that is not shooting tonight.
Yeah, the Jeff, I think, ran a string of 7 together.
He sure did. Jeff Hopkins. Yep.
Yeah, Jeff Hopkins all the way up until 2004. And then Danny McCarthy won in 2005. I won in 2006. And then Mr. Levi Morgan hasn't let anybody else in there since 2006. He's won 12 straight.
So the crowd funneling in on this one. And we are getting ready for the athletes in the first 3 classes to start their judging round. And so, Darren, they're going to get 10 minutes, is that right, to judge the yardage on this deal? Now, tell us about known pro. Chuck had mentioned it, you just got to judge the distance. No aids allowed, period.
Right. On the open pro, senior pro, women's pro, they're just guessing the distance. They're using whatever method they've mastered in practice in all these years, whether it's looking at the ground, looking at the body size, but they have no way of knowing how far the target is other than just their eyesight.
All right, so we're getting ready for our 10-minute judging session. So we'll take a break. On the other side, we'll be back to tell you more about what's happening here at the Foley Event Center. Stick around.
The ASA is brought to you by True Ball XL, Shrewd Archery, Matthews, and PSE Archery.
Welcome back to the Foley Event Center. Greg White sitting alongside Darren Christianberry. And Darren, we're looking at a bunch of archers just standing there looking out into the universe. What's going on right now?
Well, if it was me out there, I would look at the 5 targets they're getting ready to shoot, and I would find the one that I feel like I judge the most confidently. And that's the one I'd start on. I want to get calibrated because when you shoot that first arrow, you either have them all right or you've got them all wrong.
Is that right?
Yeah, so I want to make sure I'm judging on the one I'm most confident in. If I think it's 37 yards and, get the rest of my targets set, and then if I get the first one right, I could either be right or really close on all of them, or I could either be way off and winging it on the next 4. So
you'll see that a lot of the archers are going to have pens in their hands and notepads. Why?
Because they're writing down each target. If you're starting on the Javelina, you would write Javelina at the top, then you would go to the large HD, then the turkey, the taper, to the finish, to the howling wolf, and I would write the targets in order. That way I don't get my numbers mixed up. I know exactly where I'm at in the shoot-off and what my next target's going to be and what I need to set my sight for.
So on the floor where the archers are standing, you can see their feet. They have boxes with little dots that would represent what the stake would be when we're out shooting, and boxes 1 through 5. And from what we're told, Mike Tyrell said he's going to line them up in the order of which they qualified. So the number 1 qualifier, say for instance Kailey Johnston in the women's pro class, she will start off on target number 1. Cara Kelly on target number 2. Emily McCarthy on 3, and so on. So that's the way you would do it in the order. Now, let's talk, while these archers have this 10-minute session that they're looking, let's talk about the courses that we had, because we were at the Graham Creek Interpretive Center right here in Foley, Alabama. Over 600 acres of pure outdoor wilderness fun. Tell me about the courses over the last couple days, because you do shoot in the Open Pro class.
I do, and it's the courses are kind of tricky, I would say is a good word, because the practice range is set up on the perimeter of the parking and vending area there at the event site. So I think when you practice there, it's a lot of dark tunnel shots, and then when we get out to the actual competition ranges, it's more open foliage and the trees are spread out, so it's kind of a different look. So the practice range you use to get calibrated, you know, go out there to the competition range and try to be competitive, so it's really a different look. So but it's wide open. Wind's a little bit of a factor. The lighting was consistent all weekend. It really, other than the distance and it being early in the year for the judging classes, it really wasn't terrible to shoot in these conditions this weekend.
Now, wind picked up and calmed down during the 2 days that we had that got us to this point. Did wind become a little bit tricky for some people, do you think?
I think so, especially we shot the A range yesterday, which was out toward the road and a little more open. We shot the B range today, which was deeper in the woods. So, you know, out toward target 1, 20, 19, 2, right in there, those were a little tricky with wind. You had to be careful or pick your window. But I think the ranges that were out closer to the road, the wind was a much bigger factor.
What was really interesting today when I was out on the range is that the wind didn't really pick up until probably maybe halfway through, a little bit past halfway. So the way it works in 3D archery is, imagine, folks, that you have a lane, and then on each side of the lane, on the left and on the right, if you're walking down it, you're going to have your targets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so at some point, you've got to turn around and come back. And I know one of the things that archers were talking about, Darren, is the fact that we've just come out of indoor season where you don't have to really think much. You're just standing on a flat surface in a controlled environment. So when some people would take that turn, on all of a sudden the wind picked up, they were like, wait a second, why is my arrow flying 1.5 inches off to the left or 1.5 inches off to the right after the turn? And I thought to myself, did you fall victim to any of that, to the I guess the lulling of the indoor season? Because now you have to concern yourself with footing, and it was muddy on some targets. You had to concern yourself with wind, those elements, with the light, and even your bubble. Like if you're off, if you're standing not on a completely flat surface. Did any of that catch you out, or did you hear people on your range talking about that particular topic between today and yesterday?
I feel like I definitely fell victim to some of that, and that's the tricky part about 3D archery. There's so many variables: the lighting, the wind, the rain, the temperature. You know, when I walked however far it was out there today, I'm not the skinniest fella on the planet, so and I wear glasses, so you get out there and you're a little winded and steamy. My glasses are steaming up. I put my little battery-powered fan on to get my glasses clear and everything. So there's just a lot of elements that you fight for 3D that you don't fight on the indoors, and I don't think we're unaware of it. I just think we have to tackle it the best we can with all the experience and you know, deal with it the best we can.
So there is our target number 2, which is the javelina, as we're going to get ready to go. And we're going to talk about those scoring rings a little bit later on, because archers are going to line up. Actually, we'll talk about it right now. So the perfect circle in the middle is what ring?
That's the 10 ring.
And then you have
an upper 12 and a lower 12, which you have to call. The lower 12 you don't have to call. That's just in play all the time. But if you want to choose the upper 12, Mike will ask each archer if anybody wants it, and that's the only ring in play then.
Any other rings that we can count on?
The little one out to the right in that picture there, the tiny one that you can see faintly at probably 2 o'clock, that's the 14 ring, and that's, you don't have to call it. If you want a gun for it and you've got big enough guts to do it, then you can run at it.
And there's the turkey.
Same thing there. You have the upper 12, which you have to call. The lower 12's in play all the time. 14's a little bigger on this animal. The javelina is the closest target out there, so the guys will want to go for it, but it also is the smallest 14 in play.
And that's what makes 3D archery so spectacular, is you can take risks if you're behind.
You can make a mistake, but you can be aggressive and try to hit those bonus rings to get some points back. You don't really ever get them back, but you have an opportunity to put yourself back in contention.
And that is the new Howling Wolf, and that's really just a new head. The body remains the same for the old Wolf, but they changed that that front part a bit, and I think they did a spectacular job.
And
with
I found that target to be quite interesting, and I knew that it was the same body that has been for however many years this target's been in production. But with that big, long neck, for some reason, it makes the target look much, much bigger. So
it does, really.
I did not judge this target very well. I did shoot 10s on it all weekend, but it wasn't something I was confident enough to really aim aggressive on.
So many archers have stormed in here. A change to the program with ASA is they switched these pro classes on Friday and Saturday. They used to be Saturday, Sunday. One of the benefits is the fact that the amateur classes still shoot Saturday, Sunday. So we have a whole pile of shooters, families, kids that are here and get entertained by this pro classes on a Saturday night.
Definitely. They've made this a spectators event, and it's great to see them have it on Saturday night because, like you said, everybody still has to compete on Sunday. So if people didn't have plans and they're archery fans like me, they want to come and watch the top pros in the country compete at the 3D targets.
All right, so it looks like archers are starting to clear. So I think now we're going to set the women's pro class. They should be stepping into their boxes relatively soon. A good look at equipment there. You can see that shrewd scope and totally different setups for a lot of people that shoot between indoor and outdoor. You're going to have different arrows, different vanes, and as well as fiber pins and lights and all kinds of great stuff. All right, so as the women head off into their boxes, let's head it off to Chuck Cooley, who's going to introduce our archers.
Good evening, archers and fans. Finishing in 5th, qualifying with a 406 bonus rings, Christine Harrelson from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, shooting for PSE. Our 4th place qualifier with a 401 and 9 bonus rings from the great state of Texas, shooting for Matthews, Sherry Mackey. Your number 3 qualifier from the great state of Wisconsin, also shooting for Matthews, 415 with 13 bonus rings, Emily McCarthy. Your number 2 qualifier with a 417 and 12 bonus rings from Michigan, also shooting for Matthews, Cara Kelly. And your number 1 qualifier in the women's pro division from Georgia with a 418 and 11 bonus rings, Kailey Johnston. Now we're going to get ready for this shoot-off. Greg?
Thanks, Chuck. All right, so just like he said, we have a really close competition in the women's pro class. So judging is done. Our number 1 qualifier standing in that number 1 box, Kailey Johnston. Interesting thing, Darren, about the 2019 season, there were 3 repeat winners in this class. Sharon Wallace, 1-2, Kailey Johnston, 1-2, and so did Cara Kelly.
Yeah, these ladies are talented ladies, and we're going to see a good show tonight.
So when they come into the shoot down, they bring in with them the score that they shot out on the course. So on the number 3 target, that's going to be Emily McCarthy. So it looks like she's in with a 10. Christine Harrelson still at full draw. Oh, she's getting aggressive. And let's talk, so Christine is 18 points behind.
Right.
So what Christine's strategy here is just start shooting at 14s, right?
The only thing she can do is try to get to 3rd, which is making up 15 points. Almost impossible in 6 targets.
I like it, though. You just got to go aggressive at it. And we have some other archers that are going to do that later on as well.
For sure. But she did right. She did right by going for the 14. If she hits it, she's got a chance.
So we have our scorers out on course, Dawn and Ken, as they head off to target number 3. One thing that's new here in ASA competition for 2019 of the Mackenzie ASA Pro-Am Tour is instead of the board where we're writing on, we actually have a projected spreadsheet that's out there. So for Kailey Johnston, her first error was an 8, so she sits at 426. Cara Kelly comes in at a 10, so she's at 427, so she'll take over the lead for the moment. Emily McCarthy with a 10 for 425.
Looks like Sherry took a 5 there.
Yeah, Sherry did take a 5, so 406 for her. So that's going to be the running order. We saw Christine. Christine was able to squeak out, looks like an 8.
Yeah.
So 408.
She went hard for the 14 there. I don't blame her a bit. I don't anticipate her backing off. I think she'll just keep gunning at 14s.
Yeah. So it looks like now, just for the moment, Cara Kelly takes the lead with a 427. Kailey Johnston at a 426. Emily McCarthy at a 425. And then we have a battle going on for 5th place as Christine Harrelson is taken over 4th from Sherry Mackey. So that's what we're looking at. They shifted over. So now you can see our number 1 qualifier, who was Kailey Johnston. She moves to the number 2 spot. Christine Harrelson goes from 5 to 1.
I found it interesting looking at the scores earlier. It's not about the number of 12s that all these ladies and gentlemen hit. It's the number of mistakes they make. You know, Kailey shot 11 12s, which at, you know, max, that's 22 up. She finished at 418, so she only shot 2 8s this whole weekend. So only left the 8 ring or the 10 ring twice, and then she started with an 8 here. So the mistakes you have to really limit.
Christine Harrelson still at full draw. Christine shooting that PSE, and
I believe she got that one.
You think so?
I believe
so when we're looking at her target like we just saw, what scores the 14?
If you touch that outer line, there's a sunken in outer line. That arrow touches it, you get it.
14 called for Christine Harrelson, and the crowd erupts because they know how difficult that is to hit.
It's not easy to do.
Next up, Javelina, lane number 2. That looks like a 10.
Yeah, it looks to be just low left.
So with Christine Harrelson, 14, she moves to 422. So a good aggressive shot from her. And a 12.
She did get it.
Okay.
It tells me that Christine has really picked her numbers well, because she barely missed the 14 on the taper, and then she nailed the one on the Howling Wolf.
So for Kailey Johnston, she'll score a 12. That'll bump her to 438. So on the third target now should be Cara Kelly. Cara Kelly with a 12. That's going to keep her 1 point in the lead.
Emily needs the answer here to stay close. Ooh,
that's a tight one.
That looks good. I'm calling it in from here.
Darren Christianberry not scared to make some big calls from the booth. Don going to find the number he needs, and a 12.
There it is. This got good quick.
Certainly did. So she'll stay 2 points adrift of Cara Kelly at 437. Oh, and a 5.
Sherry went for that 14 and got a little wide right on it.
Sherry, who started off really strong the first day, had a great run to get herself into the shoot down. And she's sliding a little bit down the leaderboard now. So she's, looks like 11 points behind Christine Harrelson. There's Sherry. Out of Texas, shooting for Matthews. And I have to say, Darren, I got to spend some time on the range with these women today. And yes, it's competitive, but the nature in which they picked each other up and cheered for each other was incredible.
Archery's just a big family, depending on where you go. But I've met some of the greatest people in my life playing with bows and arrows.
Ooh, it looks like Sherry might have nailed that 14. That's what she needed really to stay in this.
She's got some fans in the crowd, it sounds like.
Christine, the last one to let her arrow fly. Ooh, that's a close one too, huh?
Yeah.
What do you think? From here, kind of looks like she's got it.
I think she's got it.
She's got to break that line.
She's judging well. She's scared the first one, and she's got the next two.
All right, so the first one, Mackey goes for 14 on that, and the crowd electrified, so she goes to 425.
I think we're going to hear another cheer right here.
14 for Christine Harrelson out of North Carolina, Chapel Hill area. I get to shoot with Christine a lot. We shoot out of the same place. Chrisman
Nice.
Archery, yeah, friend of hers. So I get to shoot with her indoors. Now she's moving outdoors. I won't see her very much.
If these ladies are doing this well, guessing the distance, I imagine these known pro guys later with rangefinders are going to put on a great show.
Oh, yeah. So Kailey Johnston with a 10. So she goes up to 448. So Mackey with her 14's at 425. Christine with her 14 takes her to 436. That's still 12 behind Kailey Johnston. And a 10 for Cara Kelly.
She maintains the lead. Emily can tie with a 12, it looks like.
This is the new taper.
Ooh.
And
She
an
takes
8.
an 8.
Moan from the crowd on that one.
She'll drop back to third.
So Emily just drops a couple, 445. So 449 leads the way from Cara Kelly. 448 for Kailey Johnston, just 1 point separating them. Emily McCarthy slips back just a couple at a 445. And then you have Christine Harrelson at 436 and Sherry Mackey at 425. So here's Cara Kelly. She's our Women's Pro Shooter of the Year from 2018. She just called up?
She called up her 12. What target is she on? The taper?
So can Cara Kelly at this moment extend her lead if she's going for that upper 12?
She's so steady. Cara's so talented.
Last time we saw Cara Kelly, she was pregnant when the season ended. Ooh, it looks like for
She misjudged that one a couple yards.
Okay, so that's going to be a 10.
That's smart
Is there
play.
is there no damage yet, right?
No damage. That's smart play. If she's not confident in her number, call that up or give yourself some room to fall, and it's what she did.
Ooh, is that Christine?
I think that might be Christine.
Christine Harrelson. That was a big bobble on that one. Again, all Christine can do at this point really is just be massively aggressive. Now, how do we decide the winner here? How many do they shoot?
They're going to shoot 5, and then anybody within 10 points of the leader after those first 5 targets will get to shoot a 6th bonus target. So have to be within 10 of the leader after the first 5 targets.
At the moment, we have 3 shooters that are in that position.
This is Emily. She needs a 10 right here, and that's a tough call.
She does. That's a real close one. That would be what? Out would be an 8?
Out would be an 8, yes. Losing 2 to shooters that are hot.
So anything inside of that big
Yeah,
outside range?
You can see how those arrows really pull those lines in some of those targets. So you get the benefit of the doubt sometimes. She got it. Big pull.
Don and Ken making that decision. So
Carbon arrow on soft targets will get you a point once in a while.
Is that right?
Yes. It happens.
Target number 2. 14.
Wow. That's awesome to see these ladies go get aggressive.
So for Sherry Mackey, that's 2 14s in a row after 2 5s in a row. So with Emily McCarthy scoring a 10, that's 455. With Sherry Mackey, that's 439.
Still 16 points with just 1 target to go for those 2. Emily will get to make the 6th target, I would say.
Yeah, that was Christine Harrelson's 5 that we saw. So that's the battle, really, is for that last spot for 4th and 5th. So we have a battle up top and then a battle for 4th and 5th, and that's separated by 3. So for Cara Kelly, a 10, and that's going to be 459. So it still remains a 1-point advantage. Cara Kelly over Kailey Johnston.
Emily's within 4 of Cara, so barring anything drastic happening on this arrow, we're going to take 3 ladies to a 6th and final arrow.
Here we go. What did we just see there? What did we see from Cara in that moment?
She's making a change, I think.
Our 2nd place right now, Kailey Johnston. Oof.
She's making a last-minute adjustment too. That's a brand new target, so being confident and making sure you have that number, it's not easy to do right now. So they're probably being aggressive but a little bit safe at the same time. Nice shot there.
Okay, so in with a solid 10. And you need, with one arrow, to shoot within 10 points. Every point matters at this point.
1 point is huge in all these classes.
Harrelson, oh, it looks like is that?
No,
that's up high.
Yeah, she went a little tall.
Yeah, went a little tall on that one. So it's really up to Sherry Mackey on who's going to be fourth in this one. So Christine Harrelson gets totally aggressive. We love seeing it. And so for Christine Harrelson, a couple of 14s and a couple of 5s with an 8.
She shot good. Being aggressive like that, she had nothing to lose.
So our first score is Cara Kelly. There's a good shot at what we're looking at.
Yeah, Cara got a 10 there. She'll be in good shape. Kailey has to hit a 12 to take the lead from her. Emily stays with a 10, still 4 points behind Cara.
Yeah, we know those two shooters are going to be shooting that 6th arrow.
Is this Kailey or Sherry? This is Sherry.
10 for Sherry.
Yeah, Sherry with a 10. I'm not sure if that's enough of a swing, and it's going to put her.
She's going to finish 4th.
So for Christine Harrelson, they're going to score her a 5. So that 5 is going to take her to 446. So that'll keep her in 5th, which she came in. And Sherry Mackey will hold on to 4th in this one. Yeah, so a 10 for Kailey Johnston. So we are going to have a 3-way shoot off for the 6th arrow. 469 for Cara Kelly, 468 for Kailey Johnston, and 465 for Emily McCarthy.
We're going to see Emily shoot at a 14 right away here on this 6th target, I'm sure. She's 4 points behind Cara, so she's got nothing to lose. She can't finish off the podium, and I think Emily will really try to put the pressure on and shoot a 14.
So congratulations to Sherry Mackey and Christine Harrelson as they exit the playing field, and they will sit down. So what happens now, Darren?
They've got a 6th target hidden back there. I heard it was the blessbok, so it's one of the African animals. They'll bring it out. Don may have a pre-assigned stake for them, I don't know, or he's going to set a piece of tape for them to shoot from. They're going to get 1 minute to judge the distance, and then Emily will shoot first because she's currently in 3rd. Kailey will shoot 2nd, and then Cara will have a chance to finish it off. So Cara gets to see what everybody else does in front of her. If someone makes a big move like Emily and hits a 14, then Cara has to shoot a 10 to tie her or a bonus ring to extend the shoot off. So a lot of things can happen right here with just a 4-point spread.
Animal being put together and is going to be brought out. Of course, you can't have that thing sitting there because you don't want anybody being able to prejudge it.
Yep.
Now, here it comes.
It is the blessbok.
Now, Darren, looking at the floor here, it's very interesting. You know, this is an arena where they have volleyball, they have, you know, basketball, and so the Foley Event Center like to cover this up with carpet. But you think you could try to judge a little bit better if you could walk off some of the carpet? You see the lines in the carpet there that are kind of...
I think you could, but if you're working that hard to cheat that number, if you just...
just do what you normally know how to do.
Just put that effort into the ability you practice all the time, and I think you'd be better off. So
they're going to get a 1-minute judging period for this animal.
I personally find it tougher to judge indoors, and that's why I say when I saw these ladies hitting so close to those bonus rings, they got their numbers good. For me, I think indoors makes the targets look farther. I don't know why. So that's why I said earlier I try to find the one I'm most confident in to get calibrated on the distance. And these ladies shot really well, so I don't expect the guys to do any different, but I know in the past the indoor stuff, for me, the targets look longer.
I know it's 7-time shooter of the year, Jeff Hopkins. When I was speaking with him on the range earlier, he said exactly the opposite for him indoors. He said, if I look at that target and I say that that's 40 yards, wait, maybe it is exactly what you said. He goes, I just set my sight for 42. Is that what you said?
No.
Or you look at it the opposite way, right?
Yeah. I look at it, when I look at him and I think it's 40, it's probably 38.
Yeah, right. And he goes exactly the opposite.
Okay,
He said, I'm looking at it, if it's 40, I add 2 yards. He said, I have no idea why indoors it looks. I think I'm with you. When I judge indoors, I would think it looks a lot.
They just look farther to me for whatever reason. Just perception and how people look at them.
It's kind of like you practice indoors at 20 yards and then you go to Vegas and you stand across the 20-yard and you go, wow, that looks a lot farther away than it ever looks.
And you know you're getting ready to shoot for $100,000, so the target gets smaller. Emily's getting ready to go.
So Emily McCarthy, who lives in southwest Wisconsin with her husband Dan McCarthy, as a couple, since they've been married a couple years, 2 years just about, as a couple, they've been to this shoot down around 10 times.
Wow.
An archery power couple in the pro classes, no doubt about it.
No doubt.
So she's actually standing a little further back. She's on the ASA logo that's on the floor, so this is a little further back as we watch Emily get aggressive.
She's got to go for this 14. To have any chance to win, she needs it. I'd say she did.
Just a little off to the right. It looked like the judging distance was good. It looks like it just broke a little to the right.
Yeah, I don't know what that target looks like through their scope. It may just be a silhouette, but still a great effort and good shoot down for Emily.
So she will stand third on the podium later on. And now our #1 qualifier, who sits #2 in this competition by 1 single point out of Dublin, Georgia, Kailey Johnston, 9 years a pro. She was the 2018 ASA Classic champion.
A little different scenario for Kailey here. She's 1 point behind Cara, so she can't really let it all hang out and go for the 14. She could, I suppose, but a 12 ring right here will do the same thing as a 14 will. It puts the pressure on Cara to hit a bonus ring. If Kailey shoots a 10, Cara just needs to shoot center 10 to win. She'll take that 1 point lead to the top of the podium.
Oh, looks like she broke the 10 ring.
She got the 10. So now Cara just needs a 10 to win.
So for Kailey Johnston, a 10 confirmed. And that's going to move her score to 478. And Cara Kelly sits on a 469. So a 10 to win.
10 to win, an 8, and Kailey will be your champion. I expect Cara to shoot dead center of this 10, make a strong shot, and I think she'll take this tournament.
Pride of Michigan shooting Matthews.
She's got some game. She might be shooting a tank 27 there. Looks like a Carbon Express.
Oh, no.
Wow, that's going to be a close call.
They don't even have to look at it. An 8.
Oh, no.
Cara Kelly with a grimace on her face.
That makes Kailey your champion.
So our #1 qualifier, Kailey Johnston.
I didn't expect that.
Wow, the crowd absolutely stunned here. So for Johnston, back-to-back wins. 2018 ASA Classic champion now. Going to walk away the 2019 Hoyt Pro-Am champion from Foley, Alabama. Wow.
I'm glad for Kailey, obviously, but I hate that for Cara. I really didn't expect her to miss that 10 ring right there.
That was a big one. And under the lights here in the Foley Event Center with this packed house. Wow. Let's go down to Chuck Cooley, who has an interview with our winner. Take it away, Chuck.
Oh, you're saying I'm ready.
I know.
Look at you. I see some. Are those crocodile tears in there? What's going on?
I didn't even know. Like, I didn't even know.
I saw you turn your back. Come on.
I did. I know. Oh, okay. I'm okay.
Tell us about that. I mean, your last arrow, you hit it.
Yeah.
You knew Cara, all she had to do was hit a 10 to win.
I figured she was going to do it. I just knew she was, so I just didn't even look. And then when everybody said she shot an 8, I was like, I don't even know what to do right now. And everybody said, I wasn't even paying attention. I was zoned out, totally zoned out.
What a great start to the season. You finished off last year so amazing. And now look at you. I mean, you just right on top of it again for this season.
Well, I expect good things this season. I've been practicing really hard, so hopefully we'll see a lot better.
Well, fantastic. Congratulations. What a great win.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That was something else, and a tough way to win too, because you shoot your arrow and you just throw it down there and you got to wait for your competition to do it. Let's take a look at a replay of how this whole thing unfolded. And this was the shot that wins it all for Kailey Johnston, just touching that 10 ring.
She got it.
Oh, amazing. All right, we're going to take a break. On the other side, when we come back, we're going to get to the senior pros. So hang tight with us from Foley Event Center here in Foley, Alabama.
The ASA is brought to you by Black Eagle Arrows, superior carbon technology.